This is Micah 2 and 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, and it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kafadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutations to the Ophi elect. Shalom, Yahweh, being in the name of God, who the world ignorantly calls God. Bahashem, in the name Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Again, it's not God, it's not Jesus Christ. It's Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. Those are the true names of the Heavenly Father and His Son. And those are the names you're going to need to call on in these times to come and save you. Ain't no other name given among men whereby we must be saved. The only two names that are going to save you is Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, and they coming back to redeem the 1/3 of the elect, which you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native, and Seminole Indians, and 2/3 are slated for a sore destruction. This your brother Shadak Shar, and I'm coming back with another quick lesson. Basically going into this is no longer our land and home anymore. This is the land of the wicked. The earth was given into the hands of the wicked. This is, not our last stop. So we don't need to be trying to make a living here. And our people is comfortable in Babylon the Great. But this place is soon going to be, destroyed. This eon, this age, if you will. This place is going to be put on fire. You see? So it says again, arise ye, meaning you, and depart. This doesn't mean leave Babylon the Great, because we can't save ourselves. We can't get ourselves out of conditions that we are in. We is waiting upon Yahweh Bashemashah. He is the one that can set us free. He is the one that can deliver us and come to our aid. So we is waiting upon His return. It says, arise ye and depart. So this means get your minds and spirit out of Babylon the Great and upon Yahweh Bashemashah, because He's the one that can deliver us. He's the one that can save us. It says, for this is not your rest, right? This is no longer our land and home anymore, right? This is the land of the wicked. It says, because it is polluted. Even the air we breathe is polluted. The food we eat is polluted. The water we drink is polluted. The air, right? Everything here is polluted. Even the women that we lay with is polluted. They're not with the first man that they laid with. You see? Even by that, this earth is polluted with bloodshed of the Israelites. This whole earth is polluted with wickedness. There's wickedness on every corner you turn. Whether you want to be in the music industry, right? The movie industry, football industry, basketball industry, baseball industry, acting, or being a model, right? You got to sell out to get some small gains, of money. The wicked have ruined this earth completely with the wickedness that they bring, that wicked vibration. Even got animals moving wickedly. You see, it says, because it is polluted and it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction. There's many ways to get destroyed here in Babylon the Great. You see, whether you being of that wicked and proud nature, and Yahweh Shemashah deal with you, or even you're, get yourself into a situation to where you want to be a drug dealer or a game banger, or just even kicking in doors. There's many ways to get destroyed here, and by that they have ruined the earth completely with the wickedness that they bring, the folly that they bring. Because when you go to Second Esdras, right? When you go to Second Esdras, right? 15. Salakia. 15 and 6, it says, matter of fact, let's start at 5. It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Why? Why shall Yahweh Shemashah bring the sword, famine, death, and destruction? These are the tools that Yahweh Shemashah is going to use to cleanse the earth, right? From the pollution of the wicked, man. Because the wicked have polluted the whole earth with their wickedness. And it's about to further go into it. It says, verse 6, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth. It's defiled, by what the wickedness that they bring. It's unclean by folly. It says, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hateful works are fulfilled. You see every wicked thing on each corner, each state, each city you go to is some form of wickedness and folly. Yahweh Shemashah must deal with this place with fire. Yahweh Shemashah is through the roof with Babylon the Great. All this wickedness and folly on every corner. Even got our people hook, line, and sinker to all the ways of Babylon the Great. So let's go back. Matter of fact, let's keep reading. It says, therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. They willingly sinning. They ain't giving a damn what Yahweh Shemashah has to say. It says, neither will I suffer them in those things. It says, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves, right? It says, behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain to me continually. So, for the ones that's losing their lives to the wicked, right? Their souls is complaining to Yahweh Shemashah. It says, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. What it say in Micah 2? Matter of fact, Micah 2, and I think it's 1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. It says, what sorrow awaits you who lie in wait at night thinking up evil plans. It says, what sorrow, right? Destruction, death, right? Famine. You see, for the ones that think upon evil plans, Yahweh Shemashah is going to deal with them. It says, you arise at dawn. Home, it says, hurry to carry them out simply because you have the power to do so. You see, it says, woe, meaning destruction. You see, Yahweh Shemashah is going to deal with you by this nuclear fire. You know? So, it says, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they have wickedly exercised themselves. You know, they practice this. You see, Yahweh Shemashah is not going to suffer them to continue with the wickedness that they bring. Therefore, Yahweh Shemashah is going to deal with them with the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Yahweh Shemashah is going to plead with all flesh. That is wicked. But as for the righteous, they will be looked after. It says, behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. You see, it says, and therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and revive unto me. It says, revive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. So Yahweh Shemashah is going to avenge, right? He's our avenger, you know, our protector, our mighty hero. And for the innocent blood that lost their lives, to those who are wicked, Yahweh Shemashah is going to bring justice, right? Yahweh Shemashah is going to deal with Babylon the Great and those who follow that wicked, you know, nature and that proud nature, right? Because Yahweh Shemashah have said, be not like these nations. You know, he told you before in the law. This is Leviticus 18. Now, these are the things that Yahweh Shemashah told Moses to speak to the children of Israel to not to do. You see this, you see it, you know, in which we have so-called Pride Month coming up. And Yahweh Shemashah is not dealing with the same sex laying with each other, right? It says, let's jump down here. Let's go to 24. This is Leviticus 18 and 24. It says, defile not yourselves in any of these things. And any of these things is, you know, which is confusion. You know, mankind laying with beasts. Mankind laying with mankind. Woman laying with woman. All this, you know, abominable ways that we ain't supposed to be doing. You know, even profaning the name of the Lord. Bringing his name to shame. You know, we ain't supposed to be doing none of this. Acting, you know, carnally, right? Even you can read all that, you know. So it says, defile not yourselves in any of these things. For in all these, the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you. So these nations is already, right, defiled with these ways, you know. All these other nations. But we have been chosen to be set apart, holy, right? We wasn't supposed to be acting as such as these other nations. It says in the NLT, it says, do not defile yourselves in any of these ways, for the people I'm driving out before you have defiled themselves in all these ways. Right? Verse 25, and it says, and the land is defiled, therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it. And that's what Yahweh Shemashah is going to do. Punish, right? When you go into this word visit, and Yahweh Shemashah is going to visit Babylon the Great yet again for all the wickedness and abominable acts, right? That's being played out in Babylon the Great. All that pride nature that Babylon has, Yahweh Shemashah is going to punish. So it says, and the land is defiled, therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomiteth out her inhabitation. Right? So it says in NLT, it says, because the entire land has become defiled, I am punishing the people who live there. I will cause the land to vomit them out. So Babylon the Great is finna vomit out Esau Edom in his ways by this fire, right? It says, ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither of any, it says, neither any of your own, Salakia, it says, my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor stranger that sojourn among you. So we wasn't supposed to be doing none of these things. We were supposed to obey the ways of Yahweh Shemashah, his decrees and regulations through these scriptures, right? His commands. It says, you must obey all my decrees and regulations. You must not commit any of these detestable sins. This applies both to native-born Israelites and to the foreigners living among you. So, Israelite foreigners, Israelite themselves, we ain't supposed to be committing none of these, but many of our people is hook, line, and sinker to all these ways in Babylon. This is why Yahweh Shemashah is going to bring the nuclear fire to cleanse this earth, right? And save the elect, you see, to deliver them, because we sign and crying for all the abominations to be done in the midst thereof. So we hoping to be saved and protected, us the prophets, because we sign and crying as well, right? So with that, I hope this, the lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Makafadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutations to the elect. Till the next time I say, Shalom.